Hi, folks. I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. I'm also going to introduce our guest today, Kyle Harris, who is the Director of the Department of Public Works. And Kyle is here to lead the way, talking about a very important topic that's going to be impacting the township, and that's the whole issue of recycling, not only here in township, but throughout the country. And we're going to talk about that in great detail. So, Mayor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Gene. Thank you for having us today. It's an important topic we're going to talk about today. We're going to dedicate almost the whole show to this
yeah, I
because
think we have
it's going
to.
to have such an impact on our township. It's going to have an impact on our wallets. It's going to have an impact on our way of life here in Old Bridge, the recycling.
Right. I think it's important enough that we do, Kyle, have you in to talk about this. Kyle, if we can backtrack a little bit, the recycling is, started really in 1987. And what was the process then?
Yeah, in 1987, it was only 3 products that we were recycling curbside at that time. It was glass bottles, metal aluminum cans, and newspapers. Since that time, we went to a dual stream system that included added cardboard to the mix, mixed paper, like office paper. In the last 25 years, plastic bags or plastic bottles have become more prevalent. So they've been added to the recycling market as well. So now, in the last, I guess it was about 5 years ago, we went to a single stream system. So all these products are picked up at the curbside in one single container.
Okay, and now it seems we have a crisis on our hands, and maybe the people don't know enough about this, Mayor. In China was a big recipient of our recyclables.
China
what have they done?
A lot of countries around the world, including the United States, were reusing materials, and they were actually paying for that product to make it easier to them to manufacture. And over the last few years, that has changed. The market has changed. China is taking recyclables, not as much as they used to. And it seems to be a worldwide trend where the recycling market has changed.
And the way China has done it, it seems to have taken the United States out of the recyclable market. If I understand this correctly, Kyle, the rate of contamination seems to be a big issue. 3% contamination they accepted. They reduced it all the way to 0.5%. Contamination, why is contamination such a big issue?
Really, China decided they didn't want to be the world's garbage collector anymore.
Okay.
There was so much non-recyclable products being included in the containers that were shipped over to China that they just said, okay, we want 0% contamination. We want clean product that we can use. We don't want to be disposing of everyone else's trash.
What's considered clean product?
So if you're, what goes to China, we start off as a single stream system where all the products are mixed together. They then go to a sorting facility where all the products are then separated. So all your cardboard is separated from your glass and plastic and those type of items. So China wants a product that is 100% pure cardboard. But when you have a single stream system, you get a lot of, you get contamination because the glass bottles break. So now you have little shards of glass and mixed in paper and it sticks into the cardboard. So you're not really providing a clean product anymore.
Does that speak against single stream? That to go back to the dual or go back to the three?
The advantage of single stream is really for the residents. You have one container. You don't have to think about what goes in which container. You just put everything in that single container. It also eases the cost in picking up the products because you have one truck going down the street, one crew picking up all the resins. If you have dual stream, sometimes you'll have specialized equipment that has 2 separate containers within the truck.
Right.
Or you're sending 2 trucks down there, 2 crews. And if you go even further back when you're separating your glass from your cans and you have 7 or 8 different products, which is still done in some parts of the world.
I know it is, yeah.
You're talking 8 different trucks coming down the street or 8 different crews picking up items.
Okay, so Mayor, bottom line, what does this mean for Old Bridge right now?
Well,
in terms of the recycling, without getting even into the money, what does it mean in terms of the
that
recycling?
people are going to have to be more careful or more diligent in what they put out at the curbside. I know I've been recycling materials, thinking I was doing the right thing, but now I realize I should have been putting that in the trash. We have to be and Kyle is going to go over all that, what we need to do to separate our recyclables from really what is trash. And I think that's going to help out a lot. But that's going to take time and it's going to take education.
Okay. Kyle, this policy of China's was enacted about 2 years ago, in 2018. Why now does it seem to be becoming such a big deal?
It's coming up for us as a big issue right now is because our contract is coming to an end. We were in a 5-year contract that started in March of 2015, and that contract ends in March of 2020. So now we're going to be seeing the costs of the China market reducing what they accept, and that's why it's become a big issue for us now. If our contract expired last year, it would have been a big issue last year for us.
Why are we paying, or who are we paying? What contractor are we paying?
We pay, right now we're in a contract through the Middlesex County Improvement Authority.
Okay.
They have a contract through Solterra that provides the curbside recycling for 16 municipalities in Middlesex County.
Mayor, that brings up another point, though. There are 25 counties, I believe, in Middlesex County.
26?
25 municipalities.
25 municipalities, right? It seems everybody tends to do their own thing, though. Some are recycling in-house, some are going to contractors, some are going to Middlesex County Improvement Authority. Isn't this a big enough problem to sort of have at least a statewide policy toward it? Everybody's sort of doing their own
at the
thing.
state level, if not at the county level.
At the county level, yeah.
Completely.
Yes.
You know, because of all the small towns, you can't. It's very difficult to compare Old Bridge to another smaller town that
Right.
border us.
Yeah.
And the towns that have opted out to do it themselves are different than Old Bridge. They do their own garbage collection. They have the trucks. They have the manpower. They have the ability to do it. These smaller towns don't. Old Bridge got out of the garbage business years and years and
I
years
remember,
ago.
yeah.
In order to get back into that business, it would be millions upon millions of dollars of capital investment.
Kyle, do we have any idea how much we recycle now annually in terms of pounds, tons? Do we have any idea?
I don't have those specific numbers with me now.
Do we get paid now, or do we pay?
We pay.
We pay.
We pay per house.
So we're not selling this recyclable to anyone?
No, we're not.
We did at one time, though, didn't we?
Possibly back when we did recycling in-house 30 years ago, we could have had
That we got some money
Yeah,
for our recyclables, but now
And
we're
the money
paying
that
for
was
it.
generated through the sale of the product, Gene, offset the cost of our recycling
Right,
program.
that's what I
so to
was
say,
getting
with
at,
our
yeah.
whoever was doing it for us was able to do it for a lower cost because they were getting paid for the materials. Now it has changed where they have to pay to get rid of the materials, and that cost is being transferred right to the consumer.
Yeah, and not having a sort of a statewide or a national policy just exacerbates that
Well,
cost
they say you have to
situation, doesn't it?
recycle. That's the policy. Recycle.
That's the policy, but how you do it is up to you. Everybody rolls their own.
Yeah, the industry has seemed to drop the ball, as they like to say. I believe a lot of the politicians at the state and the county level have dropped the ball and put it right down on the local level, put it right down on the consumer, where maybe some people feel that's where it should be. I just don't agree with that.
Okay. Kyle, can you distinguish for us the difference between curbside and recycling center, trash, recyclables, whatever? What's curbside?
So curbside is basically your everyday household products. It'll be your newspapers, your mixed paper, office paper. Mixed paper is like cereal boxes and food
Right.
boxes, that type of item.
That's clean. The
That-
cereal boxes.
Yeah, just
Okay.
just the box, not
Yes.
not the bag.
Okay.
Not the bag.
Plastic liner. That's
Yeah,
it.
right. Oh no.
What a wax
Yeah.
paper.
Your circular ads, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Then you have your glass bottles, which could be beverage bottles or a bottle for tomato sauce, any type of glass, but just like food glass, not window glass or mirrors or anything. That's a different type of glass that is not recycled curbside. Your plastic bottles, in Middlesex County, they accept plastic 1s and 2s. 1s is your water bottles,
yeah.
your soda bottles, and your 2s are your detergent bottles, shampoo bottle, maybe like an aspirin bottles, your like over-the-counter
Well, we were talking off the air. Why don't they make this designation more prominent on the package itself, that this is a 1 or this is a 2 if we're trying to educate people? Why isn't that more prominent than just an industry-wide policy?
My personal opinion probably takes away from the advertising of the product when it's on the shelf. It's something that they're trying to sell their product. They don't want to
Really?
give up space for putting the recyclable number on there.
So who's going to take the time to turn the product over and glance at it, right?
That's That's what we have to do, though. So we make sure there's 7 different types of plastics,
Yeah.
and we only recycle the 1s and 2s here, which is a small portion of that. So many plastics, you think, oh, this is even myself, who looking at this stuff every day, I'll say, oh, that's definitely recyclable. I turn it over and it'll be a 4, and I'll be like, I didn't even.
The number 2s, are they things like the detergent bottles, the Tides, that
shampoo,
come in, shampoos, lotions,
and
powder,
medicine bottles, that type of
medicine,
stuff.
things like that?
Yep.
That's a 2.
That's a
and
2.
then 1 is the basic, everyday type of thing. Wow. It does really draw a fine point, doesn't it? As you just said, May, you can process this Cheerios box, but not the plastic.
It's a process and a system doomed for failure.
Well, it seems to be needlessly, I don't know, complicated. Maybe it's just me, but
Pizza box. I didn't know you couldn't put a pizza
yeah,
box
I
in.
didn't either. That's considered contaminated because of the grease.
The grease or the cheese on there, food byproducts.
But when it goes through the whole mill of reprocessing, doesn't that cheese or that tomato sauce become just
I think the grease
eliminated
gets
or
on
wiped
there,
away,
kind
or-
of makes an oily film on the paper, and it just doesn't mix in with the other papers as well.
Do you think people really get that? The residents are really understanding that?
I think they're starting to get it,
Yeah.
but we still got a long ways to go with our education. It's just a matter of reaching people. 2 years ago, we did a flyer in the tax bill or the last 2 years, I should
Right.
say, we did a flyer in the tax bill. Our office would receive a huge spike in calls for the 2 to 3 weeks after that was received, with questions, people learning more about it. We've been hitting social media hard. The last few council meetings, we've been talking about it.
I saw that,
This show here, it's just getting the word out, and that's our hardest part. In 2019, we received a grant from Middlesex County to do
Oh, you did?
inspections and curbside inspections. So we developed tags that we would put on each container if there was some product in there that shouldn't be in there. We'd just say, this product should not be in here, listed, like we had a crock pot in one of them. So we put crock pot is not a curbside recyclable item. And a lot of these items are, 5-gallon bucket, a pane or spackle
Right.
type of thing. Yeah, you think it's plastic, you think you should put it, you think you're doing the right thing, but that's not a
But you're not
recyclable
doing the right
plastic.
thing.
You scrap metal, which we'll take in our recycling yard, but doesn't go in curbside recycling. So it's just a lot of, people need to be educated, learn where the market is or where they should take this item to recycle it. So a lot of items just have to go in the garbage because there is no recyclable option for them.
Okay, Kyle, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you just to hold your thought for just a moment. We're going to be taking a break. Folks, we're talking about a project or an issue that's getting increasingly complex, as you can hear, and that's recycling products, waste. What do we do with it? How much is it going to cost to do it? What do we have to know about it? We're going to pick those subjects up when we come back from the break. Please stay with us.
Meet Shadow. He is our February pet of the month. Shadow is a 2-year-old Russian blue that came to us back in November. Shadow is a very friendly and loving cat that enjoys the company of others. And if you're looking for a calm and mellow companion, then Shadow is definitely the one for you. Shadow is neutered and is up to date on all his vaccines. Come on down to the Old Bridge Animal Shelter to take Shadow home today.
Caring for a family member can be challenging and lead to countless questions for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Fast-paced family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Folks, welcome back to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. Today our guest is the Director of the Public Works Department, Kyle Harris. And we're talking about a very important topic, as you're hearing, and that is the impact of recycling, what it's doing to the townships, what it takes to make it compliant, and we're going to get into that right now. If we can, Mayor, address this subject of cost. We're saying that there's more waste, it's expensive now. What is the magnitude of the cost to the
It's
township?
going
What's
to be
the impact?
significant, very significant. Kyle has the exact numbers, but the existing contract at $2 and change is expiring in March. The new contract, which is going to be $5 and change, almost triple the cost, is being passed on to the residents of Old Bridge starting in March. It'll be, Kyle, $5.28 $5.28 per household per month in the township of Old Bridge, whether you recycle or you do not recycle. That cost is going to be charged to the township, and the numbers add up in 2020, this year's budget, to about, how much?
Yeah, almost $1 million for the recycling budget coming up in 2020, and then it'll be close to 1.2 million in 2021.
That is significant.
That is very significant.
That is very significant in our budget, due to the fact that no services are being improved. It's the
Yes.
same service we've been receiving for the last number of years, but now we're going to be paying 3 times the amount for it.
Well, if we make, Kyle, just to clarify, what does the $5.28 per household represent? What is that money for?
That is for the curbside collection.
For the curbside collection?
That is for someone to go to your house twice, every 2 weeks, some months 3 times, depending on how the days work.
Right.
That's what that recycling contractor is going to charge the township, to go to your house twice a week and pick up your recyclables.
And the impact is going to be what again, Mayor? Dollar impact?
$1 million.
$1 million on
This
the
year and $1
township,
million
hitting on the
next year.
township budget.
Yes,
Wow,
that's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money. As you said, you're not getting any improvement. You're getting same old,
Same
but
old,
just
same old for a lot more money. And a lot of people are going to be disappointed when they see their tax bill,
yeah, I'm sure they are. It's
including myself.
do you get to a point where you stop some services, Kyle? Do you get to a point because of these costs that you get to say stop curbside pickup time and totally everything goes to the center?
The recycling is mandated by the state, so as long as it's state mandated, we have to continue.
Do they mandate curbside?
Yes.
Oh, they do. Okay, so you have to comply with that.
A
Yes, we do.
typical state mandate. They make the rules and we pay for it.
Okay, that's pretty tough. It brings up one question, though, if we can just talk about it. Do you see the end of recycling? Because many towns, and you're putting a dollar figure on our town, which is a large town, how many small towns can afford this kind of a hit? I mean, do you see recycling ending? Do you see more recycling being modified? Philadelphia's moving recyclables to landfills into incinerators. What's the future look like?
Well, something's going to have to give, Gene, in my opinion, over the next couple of years. Something's going to have to give. We can't afford, as a human race, to continue to be this disposable society. Our landfills are almost
Right.
at maximum. Somebody has to come up with some type of technology what makes it easier, more cost-effective to recycle. I know a lot of landfills have turned themselves into methane gas generation, and they've turned them into making electricity.
Okay.
They've turned them into solar farms. So I think the industry needs to catch up with it, and I think it will. As we say, there's so much money now involved.
Yeah.
Some entrepreneurs here are going to come up with something that that would make it more economical to recycle. I think the industry needs to adjust and stop packaging these products. And you know, it's almost insanity over the last 5 years. Nothing has changed.
Right.
The plastic water bottle doesn't need to exist, but yet that's our biggest. You know, water can come in cartons like milk used to come in cartons, paper cartons.
Yeah.
But the industry, I think, needs to catch up with the times. And my opinion, again, is if you make it, you should be able to recycle it.
But that's an interesting point, that industry has to be a partner in this.
Exactly.
With their
More of a
packaging.
partner. They need to be the leader.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
The
like,
consumer, basically, our hands are tied when we go to the store. We don't have a choice what to buy the product.
No.
We don't pick what container it comes in. Very rarely can we.
right.
So we're stuck with that container. And once we finish the product, here we are holding a manufacturer's container.
Right.
Now that we're paying to get rid of, probably more than we paid for the product.
You probably are.
So
That's probably true.
It's an exercise in insanity.
Plus, some of the products are packaged in such a way as to prevent theft or to reduce the likelihood of theft. And I'm looking at things like batteries, razors, things like that, which are relatively inexpensive products. But the packaging is like armor wrapped around it with these plastic shells and the cardboard underneath it. And that's what has to be addressed.
I would think so.
And also, you got to look at e-commerce now. You know, people are, instead of going to the store to buy a pack of batteries, they're ordering them online, and that pack of batteries is coming in a small cardboard box that now should be recycled. That in that cardboard box is plastic bubble wrapping, and then you have the package of batteries that
Have their own packaging.
Have
so
their
it's
own
like four
packaging.
packaging in one.
Wow. Kyle, can you address just briefly the recycling center? We've talked curbside pretty much. What can I do with this center? What can I bring to the center that's acceptable, in all ways, acceptable to further recycling and reprocessing?
In the center, we accept a lot of different products that are not collected on the curbside. Scrap metal is one item, so old car rims and old barbecue grills, that type of stuff can be brought to the recycling center, and we actually do make a little bit of money on scrap metal right now. Yeah.
How about things like batteries, paint cans?
Rechargeable batteries.
Automobile batteries, I mean.
Yeah, automobile batteries can be brought to the recycling center. Rechargeable batteries can be brought to the recycling center. Electronics, old TVs, computers, radios, VCRs, DVD players, all that type of items. We have a 20-yard container that we fill up on every other week. I bet you we switch that container out with old electronics.
Is there a
imagine
different
the amount of material?
I'm sorry?
You can only manage
Right.
the amount of material that's generated from electronics.
Is there
Everybody gets a new TV every month.
I know today, yeah, it seems like it. Is there a vendor that handles that kind of product as opposed to the curbside?
Yes,
recycling?
specialty vendors, totally separate from our curbside collection. We put that out to bid every year and get the best price for the township on electronics recycling, as well as we do brick and concrete recycling. We have a 20-yard dumpster there, so any brick product, if you're redoing your patio at
I was
home,
gonna say,
you
so
can bring those patio
take
blocks.
construction type products down there. Huh?
Not really construction, just more brick and concrete
and-
items.
Okay.
We take motor oil, cooking oil. We recently started accepting the foam packaging that's in a lot of new electronics and stuff. The big pieces of styrofoam. County program will then shrinks that down to small. A huge bag that is 10 foot by 10 foot will shrink down to a square foot in a machine they have. Then on the second Saturday every month we accept paint.
Okay.
Mattresses,
Yeah,
mattresses too.
carpeting, right?
Carpeting, yep.
Propane
And,
tanks.
propane tanks, yeah.
Well, you anticipated one of my questions, which is sort of not valid anymore. You said it's mandated. I was going to say, do you see the end of recycling? Is recycling going to come to a point where it's not going to be done? It's going to be landfill, incinerated, and
I think recycling, how we're doing it now, is going to come to an end. We got to be smarter at recycling.
Okay.
We need to only attempt to recycle the products that can be recycled, whether it's in the curbside or even in our recycling center. We have a dumpster for metal. We'll find wooden tables in there. That's that's contamination. It's easy for us to pull that table out because it's so big. But when you get into your curbside recycling, if you're throwing a bunch of AAA batteries in there, that's contamination.
Right.
They just go in the garbage. You got to make sure that you're only recycling the products that can be recycled.
given the critical nature of this, how are you going to educate the Old Bridge residents to the proper way to recycle? What's the plan?
We've been trying to get the word out any way possible. Last 2 years, we've sent flyers out in the tax bills. We've been hitting social media hard, shows like this, council meetings. We have a lot of literature in the office. At the recycling center, when you meet with our recycling tenant, they have literature right in the booth there that they can give all the residents on what can be recycled. And we've also we've done some curbside inspections to make sure that that what's being put out on the curbside is properly recycled.
And you tag those?
We don't tag them so they don't get picked up. We're still allowing residents to have their recycling picked up, but we were putting a tag on the recycling container, zip tying it to the handle, so they would see it and say, just for future reference, crock pots shouldn't be recycled in the curbside, or scrap metal, or light bulbs.
Right.
Because a lot of people think, oh, a light bulb, that's glass, that can be recycled, but it's not just.
That should just go in the trash.
That just goes in the trash. Like drinking glasses, they go in the trash because it's a different type of glass than is found in like a glass bottle.
Okay. Kyle, you recently made a presentation to the Township Council, a rather extensive presentation. You put forth a number of recommendations. You want to just highlight them for us?
Yeah, we were recommending that we discontinue the collection of curbside recyclables in the recycling yard. It's the way the contract's set up, and any contract will be set up, we pay for collection at every single resident in the township, whether or not they put recycling out. So if you're away on vacation for the week of recycling and your recycling doesn't go out to the curb, the township still incurs a charge for that week. Mm-hmm. So, and with curbside recycling, you pretty much have unlimited curbside recycling. You could put out 5 30-gallon containers of recyclables every single week that's your collection week, and there's no issue with that. So we want to really encourage residents to put their curbside recyclables out at the curbside for curbside collection. If they have a lot of cardboard, stack it up on the curb, and the contractor will take that with them. Mm-hmm. And not bring those items to the recycling yard, because now we're paying an additional charge per pound to get rid of those products. When if you left them at your house, the township would be saving money.
Okay. And Kyle, I noticed that part of your recommendations were some money-saving opportunities, huh? Mm-hmm. To reduce the cost of the township.
Right.
$37,000.
Yeah, we have if we were to eliminate our collection at the recycling center for cardboard, plastic bottles, glass bottles, tin, metal cans, mixed paper, we'd save approximately $37,000 next year.
And the total amount was, I think you said, $61,000?
Yeah, we have an opportunity. If we're reducing, a lot of residents are only coming to the recycling center to recycle items that can be recycled curbside. Mm-hmm. So if we were to reduce, the number of residents coming in, we could ultimately reduce the number of hours the recycling center is open, which would roughly save us another $24,000, which would be a $61,000 savings going forward.
So in one way, Mayor, we can get some daylight out of this, how we can reduce some costs,
I don't know
even
if
though
call that daylight.
On the other hand, it's going up, but we are going to save some money.
Yeah, it's drastic measure. Drastic times require drastic measures, and we don't know what they are just yet. Right now, our only measure is to increase the cost.
Right.
I mean, saving some, $61,000 is nice.
Yes.
But it's not going to solve the problem.
No. But folks, I think what you're hearing is that the importance of recycling, to be compliant, to understand what has to be recycled, what should be recycled, what should be thrown out. As Kyle said, there's a lot of information out there now. You should educate yourself so you're not in violation. You don't create more costs for the township. Kyle, thank you for coming in today. Really appreciate you being here. Good luck with the project. And Mayor, good luck with picking your way through.
Painful subject, but it needs to be talked
very
about.
painful.
We're all concerned with the future of our planet, and this is one thing that we all have to do. And you'd like to say now that the ball is in the consumer's court. We need to make the change. We need to start being diligent about what we're recycling, and that would have an impact.
Okay, well, thank you again, Mayor. And Kyle, thanks again for coming in. Folks, an important topic, as we've heard. Important that you recycle properly, you be compliant, that you don't get the wrong thing out at the curb, take the right things to the recycling center, and try to make this a better township. The mayor has always been big on clean community. Let's make it a clean community. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Thanks for watching. This has been Old Bridge Outlook for this time. We'll see you next time. Take care.